So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up tonight to our CHS standardized testing presentation. This is probably one of the shortest presentations that I have done as principal of the high school. My name is Dr. Lajara. I am the principal of Cheltenham High School. I am joined tonight by two other panelists, my assistant principal, Ms. Lori Felgoise, and the director of secondary education, Ms. Charlene Collins. They will be helping us and helping me answer questions as we go along through the presentation. So tonight, the goal is to present to you our strategy for Keystone testing at the high school, our testing timeline, and then at the end, we will formalize our testing structure based on your answers to the survey that we're going to show you and disseminate to you once we're done this presentation. I believe it was sent by Dr. Smith from a letter from Dr. Smith from the Office of Education, our assistant superintendent, but we will also share with you tonight. So to get started, next slide. Okay, so why is Cheltenham School District testing? So I think you've all, hopefully you've been watching the news, and PDE, the Pennsylvania Department of Education, in conjunction with a directive from the United States Department of Education, has mandated that all schools still administer the annual state assessments. So this is why Cheltenham High School is going along, and all the other Cheltenham schools are going along with state testing, as we have done in the past. Last year, of course, was a different year. The testing did not happen. This year, they're asking us to still test our students. The only difference is that this year it's to be used as a source of information for parents and for us as educators, for resources and support, and to provide resources and support rather than using it as an evaluative tool, or for accountability purposes as it has been done in the past. PDE has provided a following document for parents and guardians. It's called the Keystone FAQ. We will share it with you once this presentation is done, and I'll also send it as part of my communication that goes out on Fridays to parents as well. So who is testing? All students enrolled in these three courses from 7th through 11th grade will be testing this year. So if you have a child, and I believe Cedarbrook already did their presentation, but at the high school, if your child is enrolled, is registered and taking an Algebra 1 class this year, an English 10 class, or biology, they will be required to take the Keystone exam this year. I do want you to know that it says here that the opt-out procedures will be provided when available, but we've just been made aware that the opt-out procedures are the same as they were last year. So we're going to be asking you to come into central office. Ms. Tracy Horn, who is Ms. Collins' administrative assistant, you would email her, set up an appointment to come into central office. You will review the Keystone exam, and you will be able to opt out your child by sending a letter. Now, one thing to note is that the only reason that it is accepted to opt your child out would be for religious purposes only. So I want to be clear again, if you want to opt out your child from Keystone testing, the criteria is asking that it be for religious purposes only, and your child will be exempt and excused from taking a Keystone exam. If you just do not send your child to test, or you opt out for another reason that's not religious purposes, your child will be put down as refusal to test based on the state requirement and state criteria. So I just want to be clear that the only legitimate reason for you to opt your child out is for religious purposes only. And again, I will, when we send out the communication about Keystone, I'll make sure that the opt-out procedure is clear for you. So what would the testing environment look like? So we are asking that the students come into the high school to test in person. The guidelines for the health and safety, just like we did for the hybrid students that were coming into the building, will continue to be followed. So social distancing, wearing a mask, hand sanitizers, all of those things will still be followed based on our district health and safety plan. Testing will be completed online, and a student will need to bring their Chromebook. It would be done using the district issued Chromebook that your child has. So again, two things: that the testing will have to happen in school, and it will be done on a school district issued Chromebook. Just because we know that students haven't tested in a while or taken a standardized assessment in a while, there will be multiple opportunities for your child to practice taking these tests online. We will also share this link with you so that you can provide it to your child, and we'll make it available to our students as well, so that they may practice as the date gets closer for testing. There will be pauses given and breaks given to students while testing is going on. And obviously they'll be in the school, and lunch will be provided for your child if they do come in to test. Now, remote only students will still need to come into the building to take the test. So they will take the test at the respective schools for students that have chosen to stay remote and 100% remote. There is no, unfortunately, there is no option for students to test at home. All testing has to be done at the school. So please make note of that. And again, lunch will be provided for all students on the days of testing. So that lunch will be taken care of. But again, I just want to be clear that if your child is 100% virtual, they still need to come to Cheltenham High School to take the Keystone assessment. There has been an update on transportation. Transportation will be provided for your child for those days of testing, and we will be sending out more information about transportation. And again, remote students will be asked to bring their district issued Chromebook to take their Keystone exam as well. So the timeline for a Keystone, you might have been in other presentations for your, if you have other children in the district and they attend, for example, EP and Cedarbrook, they might have given you different dates. So our testing window will be no earlier than May 16th this year for Keystone exams. Excuse me. And what we need from you is we need to have more information. So for us to schedule the testing and what the testing is going to look like, we need you to fill out this state standardized testing survey that we'll show you on the next slide. And a more detailed schedule will be able to be created after the results are compiled and analyzed. We will be able to figure out how testing will take place for those days that we will be providing Keystone testing. And finally, if you want to take a picture of this or screenshot this QR code, this is the link to the survey that I was talking to you about, the standardized testing survey. After filling this survey out, again, this will give us an opportunity to create the schedule, the testing schedule, and the logistics of the schedule of testing and what it would look like. So please make sure that you fill this out. Again, this will be part of my communication for Keystone as well, that I will send out in my Friday communication. Again, I told you this was going to be a very short presentation. So at this moment, if anybody has any questions, please put them in the Q&A, and we'll be glad to answer those questions for you. Ms. Felgoise, you can stop sharing if you want, and that way we can see the Q&A better. So we'll wait a couple minutes just in case anyone has any questions. But again, the key things is the opt-out. I will send you the information for that. It needs to be done at central office through Ms. Collins's administrative assistant is Tracy Horn. And the opt-out procedure is that you can opt your child out for religious purposes only. And a formal letter must be written so that we can document that you have chosen to opt your child out of testing. So we'll wait about another minute to see if anybody has any questions. Okay. Lori, do you just want to answer them live since it's they're not too many?
So the question was, the biology exam would be for current biology students, correct? My son took it last year and was canceled due to COVID. And yes, that is correct. So the it would only be for students this year who are enrolled in either biology, algebra, or English 10. Last year, since it was canceled, students who were enrolled in the course and passed the course are deemed to be proficient. Next question. I'm cool with the Keystone information. Thank you. Do you know if there will be any PSAT practice testing offered to sophomores? So with PSAT, there's definitely practice through Khan Academy. So they can access the practice testing through that avenue. And then we'll be preparing for the PSAT next year. So there'll be booklets available to all the students who take the PSAT in the fall of 2021. There's a question, is passing the Keystone exam a requirement of high school graduation?
Want me to take that?
Sure.
Okay. So yes, currently the state did pass a law that passing the Keystone is one of the options for high school graduation. They did waive the requirement in regards to passing the Keystone for the students who in last school year. They have informed us of any changes for the current school year. Districts will be notified this summer in the summer 2021. But in terms of our current sophomore freshman class at this time, yes, the key participation in the Keystone exams is a graduation, is part of the graduation, is one of the ways that they can meet the graduation requirements from the state. Yes, even though they haven't taken all the Keystone. So for students enrolled in classes last year and they passed them, like Ms. Felgoise said, they were deemed proficient. So those scores will be grandfathered in as proficient. So they have already counted them as taking the exam, as long as they passed the course.
All right, that looks like that is it for questions. As always, if any other questions pop up, please feel free to email me and I'll be glad to answer those questions. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Again, this is a very short presentation, but very informative. As other information becomes available, we would communicate that to you, especially with regards to the graduation requirements. So everyone have a safe night. Have a great weekend. And if I don't see you, have a great spring break. Get some rest. If you are going somewhere, be safe, social distance, wash your hands, wear a mask. All right. Take care. I want to thank again Ms. Felgoise for being here and for Ms. Collins for joining us. Thank you so much. And in the background, you don't see him, but he's the man behind the curtain, Mr. Kevin Kaufman. Thank you so much for providing us this space to communicate with our families. As always, if you didn't hear it today, and if nobody told you, I love you all very much. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.